Yes. Welcome everyone to Indian Debating League 3.0. Whoever has been with me for the past two batches, feel free to join today as well. If you have any doubts, I will be clarifying it today. And secondarily, I will be going through what the format of Indian Debating League is. And today is the orientation, which means we will be going through what the motions look like, what is the format, what do we expect, and who is Indian Debating League. Great. So this year we have successfully held two editions in the previous years, and we've had amazing enthusiasm from different schools, and we've had over 600 debaters participating, holding discourses on what topics look like, etc. And it has been a really enrapturing journey for all of us. Yes, so it's one of the most prestigious public speaking and debating tournaments. And guess what we have achieved so far? And this also gives you an incentive to join us. Why should you debate with Indian Debating League? Because A, you get to meet multiple debaters from around the country and around pan-Asian subcontinent. So this looks like you're meeting like so many international debaters in Harvard and Stanford, Yale Invitational debates. You get to debate on various topics that you haven't had the opportunity in your schools, and you get to interact with the judges who give you qualitative feedback on how to improve your public speaking skills, because it makes you a really holistic person. So what is something that we offer, and what kind of let's say level of recognition that we are providing you? And feel free to write your doubts in the chat box. I will be taking all of them. So we've had over 68,000 debaters who have acclaimed themselves internationally and nationally as well. We've had 100 plus debating tournaments, and I think I have seen most of you in the middle category participate in IDL previous tournaments, and it is amazing to see those similar faces. And if you're new to this platform, welcome, and we're just hoping that you become like a better debater, but you also become like a really analytical individual after when you participate in Indian Debating League. Thirdly, we've had over 300 plus premium schools of India participate with us, give us positive feedback, but also enroll their students to see like a positive changes and qualitative changes in themselves in the very first place. We've had 70 plus global wins. So because we are, let's say, students who participate with Indian Debating League, and the students who we train have gone to Harvard, gone to Stanford, Yale Invitational debates, and they have bagged like prestigious speaker awards and prestigious prizes as well. And if you perform really great in Indian Debating League, I have something to offer to you as well. I will be talking about it a little later. Yes, can somebody guess who this person is in the current slide? I'll give you like 5 to 6 seconds to sort of recognize who this person is. Okay, I'll just take the doubts meanwhile. Okay, yeah, the meeting has started, Nishika. Ma'am, what does assertion mean? I will clarify that. Ma'am, where can we see recordings? I will be posting the recordings after the session today. Is my voice really low? Yash, I think you should disconnect and join again. Ma'am, I've missed the third session fully and attended less than half of first and second, so I've joined this batch. Okay, yes, sure. Agrin, yeah, exactly. The topic will be released on 22nd October. Yeah, exactly. You guys are correct. This is Harish Nashranjan. Do any of you want to tell me who this person is? This person has achieved a lot and defeated like an AI bot. I have revealed it. Yes, Aro, you can go ahead. Oh, Aro, I recognized you for Harish Natranjan and its explanation. Do you have a doubt? Okay, just write in the chat box and later I'll recognize it later. Okay, Rachit, we will ensure that you're added in the group later. Okay, Shreyanshu, go ahead. Okay, no issues. I will be taking that doubt later then. Okay, so we have disabled the feature of unmuting right now. Okay, let's take the doubts a little later till I complete like what does format look like, etc. So I can like address all the doubts all together. So hold up for a while. I will be coming back. Great. So this person on the screen is Harish Natranjan, and with their assistants, and they have actually participated in worlds and have broken in worlds as well, and they have defeated Ogly's AI bot, and they have been one of the most prime debater that every student looks up to in the very first place. You can also type it on Google or YouTube, Harish Natranjan debates and Harish Natranjan training videos. So you get like an idea of how to become like a better debater, etc. This is extra information. That's amazing. What is the global debating footprint of our teams? We have actually sent our teams to debates held in Czech Debate Association, University College London, New York University, across the globe, in United Kingdoms, in US, in countries which are generally in Southeast Asia, in countries which are generally let's say really famous for debates. Specifically, this looks like Ateneo, this looks like Czech Debate Association. These are really extremely popular debates, and the universities are known for having the best debates. This also looks like Monash Debate Association. Wait, I see one more doubt. Yash says, though AI is made by humans, we can defeat it, but it's difficult. Yeah, exactly. Harish did it. You can also watch this video. It's actually there on the YouTube. If I found it, I'll just drop it. When is the first round? First round starts from 26th October and ends at 7th November. The topic will be same for all platforms. I will be discussing it because there is something that I want to discuss regarding this. This compiles into structure and everything. But yeah, we're just running through orientation right now. Great. What is the dates look like and what does Ideal has to offer? So Ideal has to offer you 4 things. First, growth mindset. Obviously, when you debate, you actually feel like you want to give something or you want to like think beyond whatever has been taught to you in the very first place. So growth mindset looks like that you want to improve the way you're thinking constantly. Second is reflective thinking. What is reflective thinking? It's basically you try to think deeper into what the motion or what the topic asks you to do. Thirdly, confident and being extremely expressive. Note, I think being a debater gives you like enormous amounts of confidence, but it also makes you an expressive speaker. Why is it true and why is it important? Note, I think every responsibility that you hold into your life needs some level of confidence, be it like problem solving skills, be it making quick decisions, be it making friends, be it applying to other colleges, etc. You need confidence and you also need that amount of let's say expression, etc. at all points of time to begin with. Fourthly, I think you get to meet so many people who are genuinely global citizens, and you actually get to interact with a lot of people who are genuinely coming from so many different let's say cities and states, because offline debates is something that's inaccessible for a lot of people, and this inaccessibility actually causes a lot of troubles for students to sort of interact on a regular basis. But post pandemic, we've had this tradition of interacting with debaters online, and I think it has increased the level of interaction. But you actually get to meet so many people, you get to interact with so many debaters, you have no idea. It's like insanely competitive but also insanely interactive in the very first place. Great, I will be taking doubts. Okay, host, can you unmute everybody? Just a second. Just give me a second. I'll start unmuting everyone. Okay, yeah. Aru, let me know if you can unmute yourself. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity. I would like to ask one doubt that what will be the time for the conclusion in both the debates?
Oh yes, I will be discussing that. So ideally, well, this is like a very expansive session. So introduction can be 30 seconds. Your body should be of 2 minutes, and your conclusion should be 30 seconds. Works well. 3 minutes then.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Great. I will be taking doubts. Raise your hands. Aro is done with their doubt. Anybody else? Doubts? Okay. Okay. Keep raising your hands. I will recognize it. Okay. Khushbu, go ahead.
Ma'am,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Ma'am, am I enabled?
Yeah.
Ma'am, there are days gap in the rounds. There will be days gap in the rounds.
Yes. So we are clashing with festivities as well. So we are ensuring that the schedule is out by 22nd October. So you all will be informed where is the gap, where are we preparing, what are the motions, etc. So don't worry. Everybody who has a question related to, hey, what is the motion, when is the schedule out, what is the time, etc. We will be releasing all of it by 22nd October. So it's just like 3 more days that you have to wait. That's all.
Okay, ma'am.
Works?
Okay, ma'am.
Great. Nathan.
Excuse me. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I'm one. Could you please explain the topic in more detail? I'm unable to understand what exactly we're supposed to debate about.
Yes, I will be going through the themes. We've just started with the orientation. As close as I get to the slides, which are genuinely expansive of what the motion looks like, what is the topic. Topic is going to be released by 22nd October, but like examples of what the topic looks like, we will be coming a little later. So yeah, hold on to that. Yeah, sure, Ish.
Yes, ma'am. So basically, whenever we start the debate, the topic is given on that time or prior to the debate.
Okay, yeah, decent question. So there are 3 rounds. We are trying to make it all prepared, but yes, let's take it. 3 rounds, 3 different motions, and all of the rounds will be ensuring that we provide the motion like few weeks prior, or we give it like 3-4 days prior, so you have enough time to prepare. Works well. And if we plan to have like
Yes.
the third round to be impromptu, we will be ensuring that you get like enough time, like 30-40 minutes of preparation.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Divyam? Okay, I have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what is counter debating?
Okay, I think your question looks like what is counter rebuttal? Because counter debating is no term as of yet. So counter rebuttals look like that whatever you hear from your opponent, you sort of give a contradictory response to it. So it looks like you disagree with them.
Okay, ma'am.
Great. Viti? Okay, yeah, just a second. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Ma'am, I was wondering that are we going to practice some debate topics today?
So this entire training session is divided into 3 days. Since you're the first person, I think you're like joining it for the first time. Today is orientation.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
actually, no, I joined yesterday also, but I got disconnected.
Okay, yeah. So usually the training sessions are divided into multiple batches, and this is the third batch. And the batches are divided into 3 days. The first is orientation, telling you what the structure of the debate looks like, what are the important dates that we have to keep in mind. Second day is dedicated to more explanation of how do you make an argument and how do you approach a motion. Third day is practice and case preparation, same time. Works well, great. Sanchit?
Excuse me, ma'am. I was just wondering whether we'll be having some study material.
I will be giving you some links and I will be giving you some resources so that you can probably go ahead and connect with. But I usually say every research is very different and the topic understanding of every person is also very different. So I'm going to give you some generalized idea of where to research and how to research.
Okay, and another thing, I'm also not in the group. I've joined first.
I will make sure that you're added by EOD, end of the day.
Thank you.
Great. Priya? Hi, Priya, you can continue.
Ma'am, my doubt is that uh, 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 we can use internet. It is allowed to use internet to giving answer in the between of debate.
Note, I think it's an online platform, so we can't really go around and check everybody's devices because everybody is using internet by default. But there is something called ethical conduct in debate. We do not want to have chat GPT speeches or Wikipedia speeches. It's very easy for a qualitative judge to analyze that, hey, it's a chat GPT or a Wikipedia speech. Try to research prior because you will be given enough time to do so. So ensure that you have some level of ethical conduct involved into your research and your speeches. Works well? No plagiarism.
Ma'am, what is the time limit to give it to me for
For
answer?
preparation?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
For preparation, we are planning to have all 3 rounds to be prepared. If we have one round which is impromptu, we will be giving you around. So prepared rounds usually have like a 3-4 day gap where you get to research about the topic on both sides, and on the day of the debate you get to allocate which side you are. So you're randomly allocated, but you have to prepare on both sides prior. And then on the 3rd day, which means whatever day which is assigned for the 3rd round, you will be given like a motion which is 30-40 minutes prior. You will be given the side and then you have to prepare. So preparation time is no big deal. You will be given enough to sort of prepare. Don't worry about it.
Ma'am, it is ma'am, it is chosen by own that that I am like opposition or proposition.
No, it's randomly allocated. Nobody gets a choice here.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Great. Krishna?
Ma'am, actually, I had 2 doubts. First of all, that I've been doing this since, I've done this 3 times now. So I just wanted to ask, will I get my teammates as with the same experience? Because I've just enrolled yesterday. I just got to know about this yesterday only. So I don't know what has happened.
Oh, yes, I will be discussing the structure, format, everything. This is not a team event. The qualifiers are one-on-one, individual speeches. Lower hand. Great. Vedant?
Ma'am, what would be the time of a debate?
We will be letting you informed by 22nd October. However, the timing that we've decided for now is 4 to 8 o'clock. If you
Ma'am,
have
like
any
the-
issues like you
ma'am, like
can't,
the-
just a
the-
second, Vedant, I'm just completing myself here. So if you probably have some issues that you're coming back home at like 5 o'clock or 4:30, etc., you can't join for a round, just write it on the email ID that I'm giving you right now. It's called hello@ogly.ai. hello@ogly.ai. Yes.
And ma'am, what could be the duration of a debate? Ma'am, what
Sorry?
could be the duration? Ma'am, what is the duration of a debate?
I will be explaining that a little later. Cool. Since we have a lot of doubts regarding the structure of the debate, I think everybody please lower your hands. I will be coming back to it later. Great. Our first set of doubts done. Let's understand the important dates, and I want you to all to be very, very vigilant about it. So you don't ask repetitive doubts with sort of like ask questions. Hey, when is the training? When is the qualifiers? When is the finals? Note, we wouldn't be leaving anyone out of the loop. We will be ensuring that we have given information to each one of you, and we will be relaying that information by 22nd October, which is like 2 to 3 days from now. So don't worry about it. Great. So what is something that we are trying to offer you? So you get to have 3 chances to qualify as part of state team. So we are having multiple rounds. Don't stress about how many people qualify for rounds, what is the state team, etc., and how are we proceeding with it. All the information will be given out to you, specifically what the schedule looks like, what is the qualifying, let's say, template for you to like get yourself enrolled in state team, how are we proceeding, etc., will be given out to you by 22nd October. Note, top 42 individuals will be a part of Indian Schools Debating Society's quiz rounds, which actually becomes like a qualifying round for you to proceed towards national camp. And ISDS is responsible for picking out the best of the lot and sending it to World Schools Debating Championship, which is one of the most biggest tournaments that any, let's say, any bidding institution does so far. Third thing is you get to have pan-India recognition and certificates for all. Note your queries regarding what is the metric, how are top 42 people getting selected. It's basically on the averages. So you will get 3 chances to qualify. And if your average of 3 rounds is really high, the top 42 people with the highest averages will qualify to be a part of ISDS quiz rounds. And like you proceed then to national rounds if you do well in the quiz rounds itself. Great. Third is pan-India recognition and certificates for all. So don't be disheartened because everybody gets to have something. And this looks like having maximum amount of knowledge, but certificates for all and a recognition which sort of ensures that you can help build your CV, help build the kind of portfolio that you want for debating in the future scenario. Lastly, we will also be giving wildcard entries to Harvard and Stanford invitational debates. Note the information, how are people qualifying for the wildcard entry to Harvard and Stanford invitational 2024 will be delivered to you by 22nd October. Great. There are 3 things that I want you to be very careful about. First, I think we are towards the end of the conclusion of the training sessions. So this is the last batch. Today is the first day, which means we are covering orientation. What is the structure of the format? Second day is basically an in-depth analysis on how to approach motions, how to do research, how to create arguments, what is reasoning, what is claim, what is assertion, etc. The last day is dedicated to mocks, practices, case preparation with me. Second is qualifiers. When is everybody participating? Note everybody of you has shown immense amount of enthusiasm for this competition. So it's very important for you to attend qualifiers because everybody should have a chance to debate, right? If you're trying to drop midway, it's not something that you probably can do. I mean, if you have any emergency, if you can't really join for any rounds, you have to write that down in hello@ogly.ai. But not everybody has to participate because it's like a really lovely opportunity for you to look at how international or national debates pan out to be in the very first place. It's very different from MUNs. It's very different from any sort of debates that you do on a regular basis. Thirdly, we will be having, so 26th October to 7th November is your qualifiers. We will be giving out your schedule. What are the days in which you get break? What are the days of preparation? What are the motions, etc. will be given out to you by 22nd October. Keep an eye on your email ID. We will also be ensuring that the WhatsApp group, individuals who haven't been added will be added by end of the day, and you will be ensuring that you get everything. Great. The entire qualifiers will be held in the online mode, so you just have to sit in front of your laptop. Second is finals. Okay, the top individuals who will be performing really exceptionally well, you will be getting a chance to come to IIT Delhi, and it's going to be held in the end of the November, and we will be giving out the dates to individuals who qualify very, very soon. The metric will also be released very soon. It will be held in the IIT Delhi campus, which is in the national capital itself. Works well? Great. Let's look at the themes now, because themes are somewhat the questions that we are getting in. Great. So the theme that we're doing this ideal edition is Ancient India to AI-led India. It's extremely expansive, and I want to dedicate some time discussing it. But meanwhile, I just want to take at least like few doubts, and then I'll move ahead. Okay, I'll just look at the chat box and then I'll start recognizing. We get the recordings, right? Yes, you'll get the recordings. Yes, I'll just type it out. Yes. Will be semifinals and finals in the group. We will let you know, Lavis, what will be the debate about. I'll let you know about the theme right now. We get the recordings, sure. Ma'am, will we get the certificate? Yes. Ma'am, will the debate be in group or individually for qualifiers? Okay, ma'am, I'm class 4, then will I go against 4th only, or is it random? Okay, class 4, I think your training session was taken by Afreen Khan, and it was like at 5 p.m. So you can stay here if you want to understand the format, although like the junior training session is genuinely being held from 5 to 6 to 6:30 p.m. Can you repeat the dates of the debate? So the dates of the debate, like qualifiers round, is 26th October to 7th November. We will be debate individually. When will the final round be? End of November's. Okay. Okay. Theme is released now. Okay. Okay. Great. Ma'am, will the debate be in individually? Himanshu, I've answered that question. It's individually. In earlier, but yeah, okay, sure, Sophia. What is wildcard? Wildcard is okay. So registrations are actually over for Harvard and Stanford Invitational, but through Indian Debating League as a platform, we get to have more, let's say, individuals who qualify exceptionally well in Indian Debating League. We participate in Harvard and Stanford Invitational. Agreem, I will answer that question later. Oh, Saket, I just answered it. So wildcard is like the registrations are off right now. We are individually incentivizing some individuals to join Harvard and Stanford invitational debates who are qualifying really well in Indian Debating League. So it's like an opportunity. Yes, but we can participate. Yes. Okay, great. Meaning of industrial, I will be discussing that, Sophia. So industrialization is basically a process of rapid changes and rapid developments in technology. Will the opponent's grade be same? The allocations will be random and we are categorizing every debate. So junior category is one, middle category is another, senior category is different. Ma'am, will our debating partners will be told or will be debating individually? Your draws will be, so your allocations and who are you going against will be released on the day when you join the Zoom meet. We will be relaying that information very soon. What will be the debate about? It's on the theme Ancient India to AI-led India. We will be releasing the topics by 22nd October. Are we allowed to choose our own topic for debate? We are actually going to release the topic, which are different topics for all rounds by 22nd October. So a 7th grader can meet against a 8th grader or 6th grader, right? Note, we are dividing this debate into 3 categories, junior, middle, and senior. So we are ensuring that we stick with the category itself. Great. Chats are over. I will now be recognizing hands. Saket, go ahead. If I've answered your questions in the chat box and if you've listened to me really accurately, ensure that you do lower your hands. Okay, Aviral?
What is the time bifurcation for debate?
I'm so sorry,
Yes.
Aviral. Can you repeat yourself?
What is the time bifurcation for debating? For how
time-
much time for how much time we can speak in a debate?
Yes, it's 3
And
minutes.
how it
I will
would
be
be
discussing
divided?
that later though.
Okay.
One person speaks for 6 minutes divided into 2 speeches. I will be coming to that a little later in like a much more expansive way.
Okay.
Akshaj? If you have no questions, please ensure that you lower your hand. Rachit?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, I was having a doubt, like in the debate. So, like, we are going to have like for emotion, then against emotion, or a chorus debate.
I wasn't able to get your question. Will you be able to write it in the chat box so I'm better able to understand it? Great. Anushka? Again, if you don't have a doubt, don't raise your hands. Just write in the chat box. Chat box is also open. Ensure that you, because I'm also
POI
addressing
is
every
allowed?
question in the chat
Are
box.
POIs allowed?
POIs are not allowed. We will be discussing reply speeches instead. Yes, Sophia, go ahead.
Ma'am, my question is that like our opponent will be of senior grades or of middle grades only.
Possibility is middle grade. We are ensuring that the draws are fair. Nishika? Again, if you don't have a doubt, don't lower.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
yes. So, ma'am, I had a question that yesterday I accidentally joined because I joined a little bit earlier. So I accidentally joined the junior batch and I was not able to attend the senior batch. So, what should I do for then?
You should stay, like, all the trainings are generally divided and compartmentalized into junior, middle, senior. Although, like, we are doing the same thing in all categories. We are just ensuring like maximum awareness and maximum participation from people and most doubt being cleared. So even if you joined the junior session, you were able to get like maximum stuff. You aren't missing on anything. Thanks. Yes, Satakshi. I cannot hear you. Can you write your doubts in the chat box so I can address it later? Thanks. Sorish?
Yes, ma'am. So actually, from our school, uh, 6 to 7 people have enrolled in the debate. So is it like we are going to stay together to form a debate, or it can be with anyone?
It's an individual debate competition and it's not a group activity, which means you will be performing individually and you will not be marked on the school that you're coming from or the group that you're a part of. It's an individual marking. Great. Naisha?
Yes, ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, I want to ask that how many rounds would be offline and online?
So we are having qualifiers, which are 3 rounds online, and semi-finals and finals will be held offline. We will be relaying all that information by 22nd October. Stay tuned. Akalpit, I'm taking the last 3 doubts and then I'll be moving to expanding the theme and what the structure looks like. Akalpit? Okay, great. Your doubt is solved. Nishika? If you don't have a doubt, please don't raise your hands. Chanika?
Yes, ma'am. So, is it possible that we debate against against the person who was enrolled from our school itself?
Yes, high possibility. Anshita?
Example, the qualifiers are from 26th October to 7th November, right? So,
yes.
If I'm not available for 3 days, will it affect me participating in the qualifiers?
Write that down to hello@ogly.ai because it's a personalized issue. We will be dealing it via email.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Arif?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I have a doubt that so when are the qualifiers happening?
26th October to 7th November online. We will be giving the schedule by 22nd October. Every doubt that is related to the schedule, when is the qualifier, etc., I've answered it 10 times now.
Oh, I was not there. I just joined a 5 minute.
Oh, don't worry about it. We will be giving out everything by 22nd October. Works well? That's amazing. Lisa?
Yes, ma'am. So my doubt is, ma'am, in which date online debate is happen?
I just answered it. 26th October to 7th November. The schedule will be out by 22nd October. Akalpreet?
Hello, ma'am. As we are having our school exams, so can you please tell me that when will the session over? As I have to prepare for that.
The session will be over in the next 30 to 40 minutes max.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. I will not be taking any further doubts. I'll just move to the expansion of the themes and then I will take doubts a little later. Great. How do you research? What is the theme about? So the theme is about ancient India to AI-led India. We are trying to understand where did the civilization of India began and what kind of latest developments are we really facing? It's like an intersection of all themes. We are having science, we are having history, we're having technology, we're having so many other factors, which sort of tells the developments that India has had for a good while. It also involves like historical events and historical data. So how do you research? It's a very large theme. So the theme is genuinely like so large, so the topics are genuinely coming and derived from the theme itself. So how do you research? Note, if you look at the screen right now, you might be seeing some historical data. This looks like ancient India, medieval India, modern India. It is not something which is scary, which means how do you research? You will be researching by dividing the theme into 3 sub-themes. The sub-themes look like ancient India, medieval India, modern India. We do not want to know which king was there in the Harappa civilization because there was none. The scholars have unfounded data on it. But if there's a general timeline that we want everybody to be very clear with. So, you don't have to get into the details of which war was held when. We just want to understand the impact of what Harappa civilization did to the society of India back then. What is Vedic culture? How did it impact everything? What is Buddhism? How has religion impacted the mindset of people within India? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it worth discussing, etc.? Then this is ancient India, right? Just try to understand the Harappa civilization, the first civilization, which means you have so many characteristics here. Like cave paintings were founded there, and you had so many like architectural data. You have like coinage system, the invention of trading, the invention of like Mesopotamia. All of these things were genuinely a part of Harappa civilization. So try to understand a general theme and not just get into specifics, because history in and of itself is genuinely like if you try to understand history, it will take you 15 years. So we just try to ensure that you understand general timeline. Great. Second, try to understand 4 Vedas. Buddhism has like 8-fold path of what meditation looks like. Just get into like the general aspects of what this looks like and what is the impact of all of it in society. Second is medieval India. After you're done with ancient India, try to go in medieval India. I will be going into what research looks like a little later. So medieval India has 3 aspects. First, what do you think who Mughals were? How did they impact the modern mindset of Indian society? What is the architecture? Like if you're in Delhi right now, you can go to Safdarjung Tomb, you can go to Qutub Minar. If you're in Agra, you can go to Taj Mahal. Like you can also go to like so many forts in Delhi, which actually gives you like an insight of what Mughal architecture was and how did it actually impact everything. So art as a motion can come in where you discuss like Mughal architecture, etc. Rajputs, like who were Rajputs, who were Chola dynasty, who were Gupta dynasty. Just try to like understand a very general of it, and you will get all of this in Britannica and History TV. Okay, great. Lastly, after you're done with medieval India and created notes about it, go to modern India. So modern India has 3 aspects. First, what is British colonialism? How did it impact the Indian structure? Second, what is industrialization? Industrialization is now that we have technology, it's a cause of industrialization. We also have like print technology. It's a cause of industrialization where we had like massive machines being introduced. So if you look at like Harappa civilization and Indus Valley civilization, everything was done by hand. And if you also look at like 1918s, etc., 18 or like early 19th century, I think print technology wasn't there yet. It came like a little later, but like slightly delayed. So yes, you had like printing machines, you had technology, you had so many other inventions that actually helped you develop so many things. So like automation of human resources. I will just write all of this down so that everything is probably convenient for all of you to access. Automation of human resources during the period of industrialization. You had rise of industries. You had rise of like working class. All of this rush. So many like a civil disobedience movement, etc., were like a reflection of how modern India was developing and what kind of resistance modern India had towards throwing like British East India Company out of the country. Indian independence movement, all of this comes into modern India. Now let's go to current issues. Always try to instill a habit of reading a newspaper. Go to 3 newspapers: Economist, The Hindu, Times of India, Kids Edition. 3 newspapers. Also check the editorial page of Hindu. If you're always on devices, which is again a bad thing, go download this app called Napoli. It's a knowledge app. Great. Go to quizzes as well. There's an Independent India quiz on Play Store. Download it. Great. We have understood how to research, divide it into subparts, try to ask important questions. Who was the first civilization? Try to have a general idea, that's all. It improves your GK, helps you bring like more deeper analysis to your argument, and thirdly, helps you think deeply of what modern India was, what medieval India was, what ancient India was. Works well? Let me tell you what the key tournament dates look like. And then I will be taking further doubts. Okay, so your individuals who joined today, the dates look like this. From 19th October, which is starting from today, to 21st October, from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., you will be having trainings. So trainings are divided into 3 days. Day 1 is you get to have an explanation of theme, which I did right now. Format introduction, which I will do in the next few minutes. Day 2 is all about tips and tricks. How do you make a speech? What are the topics? And like, how do you prepare on those examples? Like, I'm just giving you an example of the motion, right? All the topics will be released by 22nd October. You get enough time to prepare. Day 3 is mocks and practices. You get to have practice sessions. You get to see how to make a speech. Great. 26th October to 7th November. Everybody who has been asking this question, and maybe I can see your hands. If your questions are related to when is the debate, this is the date. Take a screenshot. 26th October to 7th November. The qualifiers, which means all of your rounds will happen on select dates. We will be informing you by 22nd October. The schedule will be out ASAP. Lastly, people who qualify for semi-finals and finals, your debate will be held in IIT Delhi in the end of November. We will be informing the dates to individuals who qualify. Rest all of you will get certificate and recognitions very, very soon. Great. What does the training masterclass schedule looks like, and what are we covering at the end of the day? Nishika, if you can stop annotating, that'll be lovely for me. Great. Session 1, what are we covering today? We were having extensive orientation. Second, we are ensuring that we have a theme explanation and discussion on what do we expect and what is the larger theme that we are following for IDL 3.0. Thirdly, we are introducing what the format is. So, every question that is there in the chat box, this looks like, ma'am, what is like, is this a group activity? Is this individual? Is this AP? Is this WSDC? Gets cleared. It's a 1 versus 1 format. Session 2 is you get to learn what this format is in depth. What are speaker roles and responsibilities? How to make a structure of an argument? What are effective rebuttals, which means how do you disagree with your opponent? Session 3 is all about mock debates, trying to have a case preparation with the trainer and ensuring that you have maximum interaction with how to make an argument from scratch. And this actually helps people who are starting now and beginners that I see joining in the sessions right now. Works well? Great. How do you get marked by the judges? Okay, I'm just writing the email ID. If you have any issues, you can write it down here. hello@ogly.ai. All your personal issues will get sorted here. Great. How do you get marked? So, there are judges. Obviously, a debate will always have a judge. And what does a judge look at you? Like, what does a judge really wants from you? What are general expectations from a debater? There are 3 general expectations, and this is how you get marked. 3 things. Always remember these 3 M's: matter, manner, method. Matter, manner, method. Sophia, I just clarified it. All of your dates will be released by 22nd October. And Ayan, if you can stop spamming on the chat box, because I can actually see it once. Excuse me, ma'am, like if we win the debate competition, so do we get a trophy or a medal? We will be giving you awardees, like trophy and medals are part of it. So yeah, sure. If you could have written it one time, that'll be lovely. Agree. What does POIs mean? Okay, you're just asking what POIs look like. POIs are point of informations, questions. So questions are basically like you ask your partner or your opponent. You don't ask it to your partner, you ask it to your opponent, right? So yes, we will not be having questions. We will be having reply speech instead. I will be discussing that. Great. Matter, manner, and method. Always remember the 3 M's. Okay. These 3 M's are called matter, manner, and method. First is matter. You get to have their entire speeches of 30 marks, and it is divided like this. If you look at the table very vigilantly, the first table is matter. So you get to have 10 marks here. What is matter? How do we actually look at it? So matter has 3 things that the judge cares about it. First is, what is the person saying? So matter is basically the quality of your content. Try to have most amount of relevance attached to your content. What is the qualitative area of your arguments? Are you giving like very realistic examples? Are you trying to ensure that your speech is very enrapturing and very delightful, etc.? Oftentimes students are like, oh ma'am, I have 10 arguments. Sure. Did you ever explain the quality of those 10 arguments? Like numerically, arguments don't have a lot of weightage. Until and unless you explain all of these 10 arguments, why should a judge care about all of these 10 arguments? Does it change the status quo? Does it change the society, etc.? Great. Second is manner. Manner is 10 marks. So manner is how are you really presenting yourself by a debate. So, one thing that I always prioritize when I go to judge tournaments, it's called like, how is the person exactly? Are they really behaving properly? Are they really respectful to other opponents? Are they really trying to have eye contact with each other? Which means do not constantly read off a document. Obviously, everybody will write their speech because you get to have 3-4 days of preparation time anyway, right? So, oftentimes students just wrote their speech, sits in front of the laptop, and they constantly look at their Word document or their entire sheet in which they have prepared their speech. Note, it's very important for you to have like little bit amount of interaction with judges and people who are literally sitting in front of your like laptop, etc. So it's very important for you to look at your paper and write like bullet points and try to explain it. So if you're getting 3-4 days to prepare, start writing your speech, start writing in bullet points so you understand your speech. Do not memorize your speech, because memorization of speech might lead you to forget that speech. So it's very important for you to look in front of the mirror, practice it, record your speech, listen to it, what shall be added. So try to have self-improvement and self-reflection in your speeches. Second is, are you trying to engage with other people? So oftentimes speakers don't engage with each other. Debating is all about asking rhetorical questions to your opponents. What is rhetorical question which is asked for emphasis, like, do you think the population of the country is rising? Do you think there is some change in the status quo? All of these questions are self-answered. It's there for just giving more emphasis to what does this question look like. Ethical conducted, is the person like really respectful in the chat box? Are they not annotating in front of the screen, etc.? Great. What is method? Method is basically your strategy. Strategy contains 10 marks. Strategy is the person really engaging with the opponent, which means, are you trying to rebut whatever your opponent is saying? Second, do your arguments have a proper structure? What is a proper structure? I will discuss it later. It involves introduction, body, conclusion. Have a linear flow to your argumentations. Thirdly, rebuttals and integration in your speech. Are you trying to rebut everything that your opponent is saying? Fourthly, is the speaker sticking to the time limit? Because oftentimes there are very expansive speakers who speak for like 5-6 minutes. Your time is 3 minutes. Try to stick with that time limit. Do not go beyond that time limit. Let's say you're 20 seconds above it. Sure, that's absolutely fine. But do not be like 2 to 3 minutes above your time, or even like 1 minute. Try to stick through your time. Try to time your speeches. It's really wonderful to have like vigilant speakers. Amazing. I'll just go and explain the format, and then I will go ahead and take up all the doubts. Garthi, it's a rebuttal. Rebuttal is like you're trying to respond to your, let's say, speakers. What is weightage? Weightage is the amount of marks dedicated. Can you explain what is engage? Engaging is, let's say I'm listening to my opponent and my opponent says burger is better, but you're supporting pizza. So you say my opponent has said burger is healthy. I disagree as the side proposition. I think burger is unhealthy because it has high levels of cholesterol. All of these things, engagement. If you don't pay any counterpoint, no, there is no negative marking. There is no negative marking. I'm just giving you strategies to become better speakers. Marks. Great. Okay. Will we get the study materials? Notes, study materials. You're getting recording and you're getting PPT. Ensure that your research material is very personal. I'm giving you sites here, but your research is somewhat very, very exclusive to whatever you do. I'm going to give you sites, but every site will be available to every student to try to tailor your speech or tailor your research to yourself. Great. What is impromptu? Impromptu is like on spot, but you will be given like time to prepare. Great, ma'am. In our intro before speech, can we add the name of our school? Sure. How many qualifiers are there before the knockouts? 3. How much time? 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. We will let you know. Ma'am, what is POI? Point of information. It is not relevant in this format. Ma'am, can you show some examples of research and speeches? I will. It is something that we'll start discussing tomorrow as well. Great. I will be moving ahead with the explanation of the format, and then I will take up more doubts, which I see here.
Use the chat box. Feel free to use the chat box. Be kind as well. Great. What is the format like? Because most questions are related to that. It's a 1 versus 1 format. It's an individual format. What is an individual format? Because there are two sides. Obviously, a debate can't happen when you like agree with each other. You will always have two sides, a side which agrees and a side which disagrees. What is the side which agrees called? Proposition or affirmative. What is a side which disagrees with everybody is called opposition. Opposition. Jiansh have answered that question. Great. Opposition and proposition. Two sides, 1 versus 1 format. Great. A proposition is also called affirmative in government. Opposition is also called negative. Great. You will give one main speech and you will give one reply speech. So proposition will have one main speech, opposition will have one main speech. Proposition will have reply speech, opposition will have reply speech. So you will have like 2 speeches given by per speaker. And I will tell you what this format actually looks like. 2 of the topics will be shared before the qualifiers and 1 will be impromptu, which means we are trying to plan it like this. We are having 3 rounds, 3 chances, as I've discussed it later. 2 rounds are prepared, which means you will be given a topic like 3-4 days prior and you get to prepare on both sides. On the day of the tournament, you get to join the Zoom link, which will be sharing, and then you will be given which side you're actually talking. So you have to discuss both sides. Like you have to prepare on both sides. On the day of the qualifiers, you actually get to see which side you're actually debating on, and then like 5 to like 3-4 minutes to prepare, because you've already like prepared enough, like 3-4 days, and then we start the debate. The third round is basically called impromptu. Impromptu round is basically a round where you get to know the motion and you know the side then and there. So there is a preparation round. You get to have like 30-40 minutes of preparation round, but the motion and side is declared then and then when you're part of a Zoom meeting. Great. Verdicts will not be disclosed in the round and judges directly submit the ballot. So you will be getting qualitative feedback, but verdicts will not be released. Everything will be silent. The duration of the speech is 3 minutes per speaker. So proposition speaks for 1 speech, which is main speech 3 minutes, reply speech 3 minutes. Opposition main speech 3 minutes, opposition reply speech 3 minutes. POIs and questions are not allowed. Why is it not allowed? Because you already have reply speeches, which does the job of POI. People who have been a part of AP or WSDC, do not confuse your reply speech with, the concrete idea that, oh, reply speech is basically you can't do anything in reply. You can. It's a 1 versus 1 format. Great. Let's understand this. Take a screenshot of this format. I want you to be very clear with what does this look like in the very first place. So 1 versus 1 format, proposition, opposition. Proposition, constructive speech. What is a constructive speech? It's called main speech. And main speech is where you get to, like, whatever you've prepared, you dump it down. What is the topic? Introduction, body, conclusion. Dump everything down in your constructive speech, right? It will last for 3 minutes. Then comes the opposition constructive speech, which means first speech. It will be lasting for 3 minutes. You try to give responses to your proposition. You present your own case. Let's say the topic is, this house believes that cats are better than dogs. So on proposition, you say cats are better. On opposition, you say dogs are better. Great. Proposition says their points as to why do you think that cats are better. Opposition then says why dogs are better. You give your speeches for 3 minutes each. Then comes the reply speech. Proposition and opposition has reply speeches. What is the purpose of a reply speech? To respond and to summarize. Because what is the difference between a constructive and reply speech? Constructive is main speech. In reply, you can't add a lot of new material. You just have to summarize and you just have to reply to your opponent. That's all. The timing of reply speech is 3 minutes, 3 minutes. The chronological order is proposition speaker 1, then opposition constructive speech, then proposition reply speech, then opposition reply speech. The debate in totality lasts for 12 minutes because 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, 6 minutes, 1 versus 1. So one speaker speaks for 6 minutes divided into 2 speeches. Opposition speaker speaks for 2 minutes divided into 2 speeches. Great. I will be taking doubts a little later, but yeah, let me just take doubts. Now I'll just take chat and then I'll start unmuting. Okay, Sophia ma'am, as it's 1 versus 1, so will the name would be given to person like it's given in grouped rounds? Yeah, your sides will be allocated. The sides will be allocated by OC, organizing committee. Sorry. Ma'am, the topics you showed just now, they're the only ones that are coming in the debates. These are examples. The topics will be released by 22nd. Don't confuse the topics that I give you right now with the actual topics. The topics are different. Can I please speak my later arrow? I will recognize you. Ma'am, I'm a 6th grader, so can 7th or 8th graders be my opponents? Yes. How will we get to know that we're selected for finals? We will let you know when we try to compile the average. Ma'am, size will be given on spot? Yes. Are we allowed to use electronics during the reply speech? Ensure that you don't have a ChatGPT speech. We're strict about ethical conducts. The reply speech will be prepared on spot based on opponent's constructive speech. Yes, absolutely, Sanchit. Ma'am, do we have to deliver 2 speeches in 1 qualifier? Yes, that is what I have discussed. Ma'am, can you tell the first line, like how to start a speech with a quote, with a fact, with anything? Something that I'm also discussing tomorrow. Does winning all 3 rounds guarantee selection? High chances. Like it's very clear, like Saket, you have been in WSTC too. Are we allowed to use electronics during the final round? Ensure that you don't use ChatGPT, Wikipedia, easy to recognize who have plagiarized their speeches. Yeah, we have mock practice day after tomorrow. Yes. Yes. Ma'am, will we have a kind of mock debate tomorrow, for instance? Mock debate is 21st. Are we allowed to use electronics? Already answered. Okay. Yeah, all the doubts cleared. I have already answered that, Arya. You can use like your electronics doesn't look like you are given 3 to 4 days to prepare your speech, which means research, availability of data, statistics, facts, stories, arguments, etc. are there. On the day of the tournament, like impromptu, ensure that you try to have more originality in your speech. In reply speech, we have to stick with the matter which we said in constructive speech, right? Yes, absolutely, Goransh. Great. I will be recognizing doubts. If you have answered your question in the chat box, please lower your hands. Akshaj, yes. Be very quick, folk. Okay.
Ma'am, I had a doubt. Like, ma'am, like if somebody is not able to just join this session, so if I drop them the mail, so will I get another session? We will get another session.
We've had 3 recordings. We will be giving you recordings with all the doubts being cleared.
Okay, ma'am.
We're available for all of you for like most of the times. Don't worry about missing on anything. We have constant resources being available. Great.
Okay, ma'am.
Jiansh?
Okay.
Be quick, folk. Aro?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a doubt that in the debate there will be 3 topics, 2 topics that will be given, and one will be
3
on the
different
top.
topics.
Okay, 3 different.
Priya?
Ma'am, my doubt is, ma'am, this meeting is only for doubts.
We've held like 2 debate, let's say training sessions for now. We are including doubts and we're also including like clearing of what the format looks like. So it's orientation plus doubt plus understanding.
Thank
Works
you,
well? If you have joined the previous sessions, feel free to feel free to join right now, ask any doubts, etc. So yes, we are just recapping everything that we have done in the previous sessions. We're also trying to involve everybody who has joined right now so that nobody is missing out on anything. Ahana?
Ma'am, I had a question. Is there any restriction to like vlogs and all, or we can do anything we want to except for AI and Wikipedia?
try to have credible resources, because I don't think Wikipedia is the most credible resource, because Wikipedia has an editable link. Like I can edit information on Wikipedia. So try to have basic knowledge from Wikipedia. Go to credible sites such as UN reports, or any blogs which are done by Amnesty International, historical data, etc.
Or
If you
ma'am,
scroll down,
can
yeah,
it be news articles from like
yes,
suppose Times of India or any author who has
yes. As long as the data is coming from a credible resource, we are fine with it.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, in a speech also, do you have to give like the like credits to that source?
Not exactly. No. Yep. I will be taking 4 doubts, and please write your doubts in the chat box too. Karthi, if I have answered your doubts in the chat box, ensure that you do not repeat the doubt once again, because I have answered most of the doubts 10 times as of now. Go
Okay,
ahead,
ma'am.
Karthi.
Yes, ma'am, I had a doubt.
Yeah, go ahead, be quick.
Ma'am, can you tell me, can you show me the format? Because I hadn't attend the first class, and in the format of qualifiers round, first of all, we have to speak, and how we have to speak, like in the front of judge.
I have discussed it, and this is the first session for you. Since you have missed other sessions, the format is right in front of the slide. You will be judged by judges on 3 metrics: matter, what are you speaking; manner, how are you presenting yourself; and method, what is the strategy that you're employing. The format looks like one-on-one, proposition versus opposition, one speaker versus one speaker. Proposition gives a constructive speech for 3 minutes. Opposition gives a constructive speech for 3 minutes. Then you have a reply speech from proposition. Then you have a reply speech from opposition, all for 3 minutes. Total time for debate, 12 minutes. Works well?
Ma'am, what we have to say before starting or ending? Can you just tell me?
I will be discussing that in tomorrow's session, because that is much more expansive. Today is just orientation. Although it's introduction, body, conclusion, start with a quote, try to have like a point A, B, C, explain those points, give an example, conclude.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Great. Harnik?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I had a doubt that
I can't really hear you, Harnik. It'll be lovely if you can write your doubts in the chat box. Anshita?
Ma'am, like you said, the topic was ancient to AI-led India, right?
Yeah, it's a theme.
Yeah, it's the theme, all right. So how can topics be created on that for the debate? Can you give some examples? Because I could not exactly understand the topic.
I will be discussing that in the next slide. Hold on. Great. Vedant?
Ma'am, can we have more than two speech?
No, the format is sticking with the format.
Okay, ma'am.
Jiansh?
ma'am, we will get the study material of the debate.
Study material, this is something we're giving, like training sessions. We're also giving you PPT, we're also giving you recording. So it's all part of the study material. Individual research, which means what site are you referring to, how are you creating your speech, what sites are you going, what kind of journals are you reading, books are you going through, series that you're watching through is your personal data. We're actually giving you everything in study material, like training, etc., is a part of study material itself, in and of itself.
Okay, ma'am.
Works?
Thank you, ma'am.
Great. Divya?
Ma'am, if you spend more than 3 minutes to say a line, then do you still get qualified?
Note, do not try to exceed your time limit beyond like 20 seconds or 30 seconds, because like exceeding your time doesn't lead to negative marking, but still it's important for you to stick to the time limit. It doesn't reflect badly or negatively, but it's very preferable for you to ensure that you stick to the time limit, because it's much more fair for other speakers. The quality of your arguments will lead you to get higher marks, not on the time.
Okay, ma'am.
Great. Last question, Sophia.
Ma'am, my question is that like our first round qualifiers is online, so can we make slides on PowerPoint and share it in the com so we can make our way of presentation innovative and by only adding pics, not the lines?
No, it's not a presentation competition. It's a debate competition. We do not encourage screen sharing. It's all verbal. Viral?
How can we do arguments or ask questions from the opponent team?
Everything is done in reply speech. You get to hear what your opposition is speaking. Try to preempt. Like, try to think what your opponent might speak and then try to rebut it if you're the proposition speaker. If you're a reply speaker, you also get to respond to your opposition speaker by asking rhetorical questions, by trying to disagree with them, or trying to add like logical fallacies what your opponent has said.
So this is to be asked in consecutive speech or reply speech.
If you can repeat yourself.
This is to be the questions are to be asked in reply speech or consecutive speech.
Reply speech. Can be done in constructive if you're an opposition constructive speech, because you've already heard what your proposition is saying.
Okay.
Works well? Great. Works. I will be going through the next set of doubts later. First, let's discuss what are the types of topics and motions you can expect. These are examples. These are not the topics that you're expecting in the qualifiers. We will be releasing the motions by 22nd. Do not get confused. 3 types of motions that we see, all of them are related to the theme, and this is where you get a clear idea. So these 3 motions look like this. First, this house believes that India should be portrayed as the center of knowledge with reference to the Vedic age. So on side proposition, you will be discussing why India should be portrayed as a center of knowledge with reference to Vedic age. And on opposition, you disagree by saying that India should not be portrayed as a center of knowledge with reference to Vedic age. What are these wordings? Like, this house believes that, this house regrets, this house would ban. Notes, it's a Indian debating league format, like 1 versus 1. So we get to have some touch on what the actual motions in a debate competition looks like. So this house believes that looks like you want to give value or judgment. So, this house believes that cats are better than dogs. So on proposition, cats are better. On opposition, dogs are better. Here, the motion simply is an analysis motion. You just have to analyze which side is correct and why do you prefer your side. Second motion is, this house regrets Indian rulers that become allies of the Mughal Empire. I also want to discuss all of these motions. First, I'm telling you like the burden on either sides. Great. So on side government, on the second motion, you just have to tell me, why do you regret Indian rulers that become allies of the Mughal Empire? Like, why is it bad for Indian rulers to become like supporters of Mughal Empire? Why are they really bad? On side opposition, you sort of go ahead and say that, hey, we do not regret the idea that Indian rulers that become allies of Mughal Empire is regrettable. It's rather fine. So just go with the wording of the motion. What does the wording of the motion tell you to do? And proposition has to always agree with the wording of the motion. The opposition has to disagree with the wording of the motion, and specifically the proposition. Last motion is, this house would ban, this house would or this house will ban products in India which are wrongly appropriated by the West. This looks like neem, yoga, all of these things, right? So what is the motion actually called? So if you look at, like, everybody's influenced by United States of America. Like, don't tell me if you're not influenced by jeans, by burgers, because all of this is a product of United States of America. And recently, I think United States of America is introducing things like, homeopathy or neem or like yoga. All of this is a product of Indian culture. And what is wrongly appropriation called? It's you try to copy the culture of a different, let's say, country, and you try to copy paste in another culture. So let's say if I'm trying to speak in an American accent, it's not my original Indian accent. It is an accent I'm trying to copy. So it's called appropriation. So on-site proposition, what do you do? On proposition, you will say that, hey, we will ban all products in India which were wrongly appropriated by the West. So you sort of like ban every product in which, like, everything that the West is trying to copy. On-side opposition, you say, no, we do not want to ban products in India which are wrongly appropriated by the West. We want to keep neem, we want to keep yoga, etc. All of these factors. Okay, I will now be discussing these motions. So I will be giving floor to like 2 to 3 people to start discussing points on it. Okay, first motion, proposition. Raise your hand if you want to say, if you want to tell me why India should be portrayed as a center of knowledge with reference to the Vedic age. I see 2 hands. You can also write your opinions in the chat box as well. Okay, meanwhile. Great, thanks everybody. Like you're answering the questions yourself. That's lovely. Okay, amazing. Okay, I think I'll give the floor to Rachit. Aro, you can speak opposition. Rachit, speak proposition. Give me your initial thoughts. And the reason, I will only be selecting individuals to speak if you have your camera switched on.
May I start?
Yeah.
A very good evening to honorable jury members, respected teachers, and everyone present here. According to me, India should be a center of knowledge with reference to Vedic age. A question arises, why? From my point of view, India should be. As we come to know, thousands of years ago, there were many Vedas, from approximately 4, out of which give knowledge related to plastic surgery. They give knowledge regarding to agriculture. They give knowledge regarding to everything. They give knowledge regarding to the yoga, the homeopathic, like we can say, the medication, homeopathic medication to each and every disease was cured by the Vedic knowledge in India. And that should be portrayed today as the world is going behind, is following the West and harming their own bodies.
Great, thank you so much, Rachit, for that fine speech. Aro, you can discuss opposition on the same topic.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone present here. My name is Aro Barve, and today I'm going to tell about the opposition. In my point of view, India should not be portrayed as a center of knowledge with reference to the Vedic ages, because every time there is nothing that it comes from one center only. All the Indian knowledge also comes from different parts of the world. Like sometimes people from USA also follow the knowledge that was given by the Indians, and the Indians follow that the knowledge that was given by the Americans, people of USA. So every information does not come from only one place. People say that homeopathic is like a copy of Ayurvedic only, but homeopathy is like the advanced version of Ayurvedic. That tells us that the Ayurvedic is good, but we can improve it by taking all the knowledge from different places. So that's why. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Aro. That was lovely. I will be taking since we're done with the first motion, so people who are having doubts on what the first motion is. So first motion is on-site proposition. You say that, hey, India should be portrayed as the center of knowledge because, past historical narratives, Vedic age was wonderful. It gave you the ideas of what manuscripts look like, more like gurukuls, and introduction of ground knowledge, have more kindness, compassion, because Vedic age is literally reading from the manuscripts itself. So it gave more tradition or more legitimacy to gurukuls. On-site opposition, you will say, no, I think India should not be portrayed as center of knowledge, centered around Vedic age, because we have so many other sources of knowledge. This looks like Western sources of education, or rise of internet, or historical monuments, or we have more areas of knowledge. This looks like trying to understand dynasties, trying to understand the contributions made by let's say Indian freedom fighters. All of this is very different from Vedic age, and Vedic books does not only give you knowledge, there are other sources as well. So it's a should debate. What should be happen on either sides? Great points, Rachit and Aro. Second motion, I will be taking hands. So I see hands being raised. Rachit and Aro, you're already done, so I will be lowering your hands. I will be taking hands for both proposition and opposition on the second motion. This house regrets Indian rulers that become allies of the Mughal Empire. So on government, you have to tell me why do you regret Indian rulers that become allies of the Mughal Empire? And on opposition, you will have to tell me why do you not regret Indian rulers that become allies of the Mughal Empire? Okay, I see like 3 hands. Edaha, you can speak proposition. Edaha, can you continue? If not, I'll give it to others. Okay, I think Dev, you can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to say that if the king's other rulers were in Mughal Empire, that would be such a good idea because Mughal empires have many kings as a group, and with like this, and with and like Jawaharlal Nehru said, unity in diversity. So yeah, it is a great idea that rulers are coming in Mughal Empire and like sharing their each other and helping their each out.
Great, thank you so much, Dev, for the fine speech. One piece of feedback is you have points, try to explain it a little more as opposed to simply claiming it. Because your claims are decent, I just need more explanation to why that claim is true. Works well? Great. Saket, you had points in opposition, right? You can go ahead. Just raise your hand so that I can unmute you. Okay, can't see you. I'll give it to Sanchit.
Yes, so I've got to speak on opposition of the second motion, right?
Yeah.
So I believe that we should not regret Indian rulers becoming allies of the Mughal Empire because one of the major reasons why India got crumbled by external forces was that we did not have unity. If we would be having that, we could have easily faced them and basically just not allowed them to overpower us. It was that we all were not united on the basis of certain thoughts, beliefs, which were mostly rubbish and nonsense. So I believe that those thoughts should have been removed out of our minds in such a way that all of us could unite towards a single aim, and that would help us face the external impacts that we could not when we did not become the allies of the Mughal Empire.
Great, that was nice. Love it. I will recognize you too.
Yeah, so Indian rurals do not need to regret as they have become the allies of Mughal Empire because they have provided a lot of tourist attractions like Taj Mahal. They have increased the economy of Indian. They have increased the power of Indians. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Lavit. Great, we will be understanding analysis of the arguments and how to make like more structured arguments tomorrow. So stay tuned. I really like the enthusiasm that you're presenting in front of, let's say, discussing all of these motions. So yeah, preliminary thoughts are nice. Okay, let's discuss the third motion now. This house would ban products in India which were wrongly appropriated by the West. I will be taking like 2-3 hands here. First on proposition, raise your hand. Okay, I see 3 hands here. Great. So Ahana first.
Good morning to one and all present here. I think we should ban products in India which are wrongly appropriated by the West, as it's creating a wrong influence in the people here. And they're using our products, like making products which we originated, and then using them and not even giving credit to us. I think it's a wrong thing that they're doing, and they're taking advantage of our silence.
Okay, that's lovely, Ahana. Okay, one point of, let's say, note here, ensure that you switch on your cameras, and that's like the only criteria that I'm following to recognize people. Okay, I will take Idaha because I wasn't able to unmute her before. So yeah, I hope Idaha, you can like unmute yourself now.
Yes, ma'am. So,
Okay, continue.
as per me, it's not important to ban the products which were wrongly appropriated by the West because, we were the one to invent them, right? And now, just because they are using it in a wrong manner doesn't mean we'll ban it for ourselves. We made it for our needs and for our dependence. I agree that they haven't given us credits, but that's how unity works. They gave us something, we gave them in return. If for example, Ayurveda, if we have kept it only with us, then it would have been really difficult to take something from them too. That's a give and take matter. You give something and you take something. That's how the world works.
Great, thank you so much, Daha. We're done with proposition. I will now recognize Saket for opposition. Opposition hands, you can raise your hands. Yeah, go ahead.
So I have two arguments on side opposition. First of all, in expanding what Idaha said, if India is going to make something smart and something creative, of course, other countries, the West will of course use the same idea. And why should India suffer? Why should India ban the product for the Indian citizens if it's the West who are coming and just using this? So if the Indian people, they made a certain product, a very good product, and the West people come, then copy it, and then they also start using it wrongly or whatever, why should India ban it for themselves? And my second argument is, even though that the West wrongly appropriates these type of products, there's always a concept of imported products. So what I mean here is that whenever these West people know that this certain product is imported from India, and they know that the product was originated from India, like for example, let's say like neem, like some neem related product, and they say neem imported from India, of course they are going to be benefiting the India's economy. So in both sides of the house, India is benefited.
Oh, that was really comparative. Lovely. I will recognize one more hand for opposition. Who haven't spoken? Goransh, you can go ahead. Oh, wait, let me just unmute you. Yeah. Can you
Good
unmute?
evening,
Yeah.
everyone. Today I stand before you to oppose the appropriation of in resources like neem. First of all, neem is not just a plant; it is an integral part of our history and our traditions. It has been used for many years in the field of medicine and agriculture. Furthermore, neem is not an isolated case. Our country has seen countless instances of these cases, where our age-old practices are patented by the foreign corporations. By allowing such practices to continue, we set a dangerous precedent for the exploitation of our natural resources and traditional knowledge. We must protect our cultural wealth and ensure it remains accessible to all, rather than being locked away behind patents. In conclusion, I urge you to support the ban on products in India that are wrongly appropriated by the West. Thank you.
Great, thank you, lovely. Yes, we have understood preliminary thoughts on what the arguments actually look like in the very first place. And lower your hands, everyone. We will be having in-depth explanation of what do you have to say in every motion. What is this house believes that? What do you have to do in this house regrets? One more thing, in a this house regrets motion, always give an alternative on proposition, because if you regret, like this house regrets the oranges, so if you regret oranges on a proposition, you are having a net zero sum game. So always have an alternative, because if you regret something, you need to provide a solution. And this is something that we're discussing tomorrow, and I'm not overloading you with concepts today.
So what is your alternative? If you regret oranges, maybe you like apples, maybe you like maybe peaches. So yes, always have an alternative on side government and defend status quo and opposition. I will discuss it tomorrow extensively. Okay, important clarifications, everyone. All 3 rounds in the qualifiers will have 3 different motions, will be informed by 22nd October. Second, attending and preparing for all rounds is mandatory. If you have participated, do it diligently. Thirdly, average of all rounds will be considered for qualification to interstate rounds. How do we calculate averages? This is something that's like internal, but most importantly, we will be releasing the results like after like 7th November when we are done with the qualifiers, and we will keep you informed on what does the interstate rounds look like. Second, lastly, you can refer to sheets. Like obviously you can write bullet points on your sheets, but don't constantly look at your papers, because this actually limits your let's say eye contact with the judges and other speakers. Try to not read like the entire speech. Try to explain something by your own creativity or originality or novelty, whatever works with everyone. Great. We finally come to the end of our orientation. Please join tomorrow for an in-depth explanation of how to approach motions, how to research more, how to give more reasoning, how to deal with motions, etc. And please mute yourself when you actually are coming in the session. Okay, I will now be taking doubts. Do you guys have any doubts in the orientation today? Okay, keep raising hands. Can you please share the last slide again as I'm making notes? Oh yeah, I will be sharing the recording, Sophia. Don't worry about it. And the slides as well by the end of the day. Okay, Sanchit. If you don't have doubts, we're done with the session. You guys can exit the meeting. Thank you so much for joining. Join tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. sharp for having an expansive idea of how to deal with motions. Works. Thank you so much, Samarth, for joining. Thank you so much. Write your doubts at hello@ogly.ai.in. Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for
Kaushiki,
joining.
you can stop the recording and yeah,
Yes.
just stay back for a minute, like when everyone exits. Thank you so much, everyone. You were a wonderful batch.
If you could just give me a second. I want to say that the PPT will be shared to
Just
us
a
in the
second. I'll just like stop the recording, then I'll deal with the doubt. Just a second.